Have you ever stopped to think about why you wake up every day with the weight of an invisible obligation on your shoulders? Why you chase after a piece of paper with numbers that, even though it has no smell, taste, or shape, dictates how you live, what you eat, where you live, and even what you dream about? Money, which was once just a tool for exchange, has now become something much bigger. A silent chain that binds behavior, shapes decisions, and redefines what it means to have value. But what if I told you that this currency isn't actually in your pocket? It's in your mind. We live in a world where money is no longer just a means. It has become the end. What began as a practical solution to facilitate trade and keep the economy flowing has gradually infiltrated every sphere of our lives. Today, money doesn't just pay bills. It decides who you are, how you're perceived, and even whether your voice will be heard. It has become a symbol of status, a measure of success, and a ruler of human worth. Currency has lost its neutrality and assumed an almost mystical role of control. This control isn't imposed with weapons or visible bars. It appears in more subtle, and therefore more effective, ways. It's in the ads that equate happiness with possession. It's in the disapproving looks when someone chooses a simple life. It's in the constant pressure to produce more, consume more, achieve more. The freedom promised by money has, ironically, turned into a new form of prison. The prison of performance, of comparison, of the fear of being left behind. As money intertwines with identity and self-esteem, it begins to govern decisions that were once intuitive, human. Career choices are shaped by financial return, not by vocation. Personal relationships are distorted by purchasing power. Even the very concept of time, our most precious and finite asset, is sold off in installments so we can survive within this system. The control is there, invisible yet omnipresent. And the most unsettling part is that few people notice. Most live this cycle as if it were natural, inevitable, even desirable. We're taught from a young age to chase money, but rarely are we asked where we're running and why. This normalization of dependency creates a kind of collective anesthesia. We don't question it because everyone seems to be living the same way. But that doesn't make the machine any less cruel. This structure creates a game that few win, but everyone is forced to play. A game whose rules are written by those already at the top, while the rest live in a constant illusion of freedom. It's not just about economic inequality, it's emotional and psychological control. Money begins to determine even what is considered possible in a person's life. It limits dreams before they even have a chance to be born. And this is where the problem reveals itself in its rawest form. When money stops being a tool at our service and becomes the master dictating our steps. We're no longer just living to earn money. We're shaping who we are around it. And the more we accept this logic without question, the further we drift from what truly matters. If money is a human invention, why did we end up being ruled by it? That's the question we need to ask. Seriously. Somewhere along the course of history, we forgot that it was us who created money and began treating it as if it were a force of nature, unchangeable, sacred. Money has come to occupy an almost spiritual place in our lives, replacing values like solidarity, community, and purpose with profit, efficiency, and status. Ethics gave way to profitability. Human beings were reduced to units of production and consumption. Today, we kneel before figures, salaries, and bank statements. A person's worth is no longer measured by their character or their contribution to the collective, but by their ability to accumulate. And within this perverse logic, everything becomes a commodity. Time, affection, even dignity. It's a complete inversion of what should make us human. When everything has a price, nothing holds intrinsic value anymore. And the most paradoxical part is that this relentless pursuit of financial security, of freedom through accumulation, often turns us into slaves of a scarcity mindset. The fear of losing what we have, or of never having enough, eats away at our peace of mind. We've built a society where accumulation is synonymous with success, but also with anxiety, loneliness, and alienation. Instead of setting us free, money traps us in an endless cycle of pursuit, where enough never actually arrives. Think about the small decisions you make each day. Why did you choose the career you have now? Was it a calling, or because it pays well? Why do you wake up early, even when you're exhausted, to face hours of traffic and then more hours of tasks that don't always make sense? The answer, more often than not, is money. And not just in terms of survival, but because of the fear. The fear of not being accepted, not being respected, not feeling enough in a society where your bank balance has become a measure of dignity. Even in our most intimate relationships, money sets the pace. Couples argue over finances, friendships fall apart over lifestyle differences, and parents are forced to work double shifts to provide their children with what the system labels as the bare minimum. The silent pressure to maintain appearances in the car you drive, the clothes you wear, the trips you post, erodes authenticity and fuels a collective performance where everyone pretends to be in control, while in truth, they're being controlled. And even in moments of rest, the control remains. Have you noticed how even relaxation has been monetized? Rest has become a product. You have to pay for experiences, for therapy, for quality free time. The simple act of stopping now comes with a cost. And because of that, many can't stop without feeling guilty. Deep down, we've been conditioned to believe that our worth only exists when we're producing, earning, consuming. Money stopped being a tool and became a constant filter through which we experience everything. What we've explored so far isn't just a critique of the system. It's a call for awareness. Money, in itself, is not the villain. It's a human invention, a neutral tool. The problem begins when we forget that and start molding ourselves to serve it instead of making it serve us. When the pursuit of stability turns into emotional dependence. When we confuse freedom with consumption and worth with price. True control doesn't happen when someone physically restrains us. It happens when we internalize the logic that enslaves us, without questioning, without resisting, without even noticing. Maybe it's time to rethink our relationship with money, to understand that wealth isn't just measured in numbers, but in free time, mental health, and genuine connections. That true financial freedom doesn't begin with a full bank account. It begins with a deprogrammed mind. Because in the end, the greatest act of rebellion in a world that tries to control you through scarcity is to live with purpose, not with fear. If this reflection resonated with you, if it provoked you, made you uncomfortable, or got you to rethink how money influences your life, then this channel is for you. Here, we don't just talk about numbers, we talk about awareness. So subscribe now, turn on notifications, and come walk with us on this journey toward purposeful financial freedom. Because thinking differently is the first step to living differently.